All right, guys, we are out here. Gonna get some footage of the EG on track today. Hope all goes well. Let's give these brakes a shakedown. Let's see how they do today. And let's see how the car feels in general. I'll kind of give you updates after each session. I was gonna go right now, but unfortunately a car got stuck out there, so now we're waiting. Have the car ready, but we'll get out there here in a moment. We'll see how she does, and wish me the best, guys.
We're holding for the next session, so 4 minutes.
4 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay. What's up, dude?
What's up?
You guys made it?
Yeah.
Nice. What up, dude?
What up?
All right, guys, so I was able to do 3 sessions. Sorry I haven't filled you in between. I don't know if I will put some of the driving footage before or after this part of the video, but the car feels fantastic. The brakes feel a lot better compared to just the wheel wells with the drums. The bigger 15th, 16th master cylinder I have on there. I think everything has made a difference, including the spherical that I added for the front, upper bearings, and then all the stuff in the rear if you watch my last video. I didn't really do anything else, just a couple suspension mods and then just those rear discs. So car is running well, feels good. I don't have any issues to complain about. I'm excited for the time attack. Hopefully we can lay down a solid time and just best my personal best. We'll see how it goes from there. Now, getting to the brakes. The front brakes, I feel like the car feels great. It's stopping really nicely. Some odd looking wear on them. I don't know if that's from the pad or the kind of material it is. I can't really feel it. It just feels smooth all the way across. They feel great. The car stops really nicely. The last session I did, I overdid it. I was just trying to get a smooth lap and a clean lap finally, and I was able to get around a car. And it felt like there was a little bit of fade, and the pads are just some like regular pads. They're nothing special, not like a better compound for racing, but it still felt okay. I was losing a little bit of, it felt like the grip of them. The fade was now a little more present, but usually I like to go out and do one warm-up lap, 2 hot laps, and then a cool down, because that's how we do our time attack. I just overdid it because I had a chance to get a clean lap, and that's where it kind of showed its face. We'll see again. We have just a time attack next. We'll see how that does, and hopefully I don't have any other issues and we survive the rest of the day. All right guys, time attack survived. 123.238 was my time. I'm happy with that. Couldn't dip back into the 122s, but that's just the way it goes sometimes. Brakes felt great there. I didn't have any issues on how that goes. The warm up on the 2 hots, they're solid. They felt really nice. Car overall just feels easier to drive. I think a lot of that is the tires. My old tires were probably a little, I think they were just heat cycled out. I got them used and I was able to use them for a little bit and they kind of fell apart fast, but regardless, car did well. Let's pack it up, get some final thoughts. Let's get these, once I get home over the next few days, I'm gonna take off the wheels, just kind of look at it. I can't see anything wrong with them. I think obviously the car was driving perfectly fine. We raced it. I'm gonna put it up on the trailer, but we'll get them off anyways, make sure nothing's leaking, and get your final thoughts, and hopefully we can get a release date on these guys soon. All right guys, so we are back home. I lifted the car, got the brakes removed. Just want to get a final inspection, and honestly, I wasn't expecting to see anything weird. The car did great at the track event. Didn't see anything odd with them, no rubbing, no weird leaks, nothing at all. The brakes did really well. The pads seemed to wear pretty evenly also. The rotor itself, it feels smooth, but you can see like these little lines. But when you're feeling it with your hand, it feels smooth all the way throughout. Looks like it's gonna rust, like the corrosion's gonna rust right here. Be nice to have a little more protection to help avoid that, or maybe like the Wilwood, have it painted, because I don't like the way it looks when that starts happening. Granted, you could remove all of the nuts and bolts, and if it really bothers you, you could paint that area, maybe tape it off and paint it so it stays that way. But This is a track car. This isn't a pretty car. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just pointing out small details that may or may not be something he wants to fix or otherwise. Two-piece rotor is great. I was looking at it. I wanted to bring it out compared to the Wilwood. And it's thicker, obviously. I don't know if that makes a difference, being more dense. Whoops. Let me roll this one over here. And you can see it's thicker on both sides. And this kit, the Wilwood kit, is called the Dynalite. I think it strives to be a very lightweight kit though. Whereas in lifting the rotors, I can feel the difference. Let me bust out my scale real quick and we'll get these weighed, and I'll even weigh the calipers. Someone had asked me in the previous video. I want to do that also. First is the Wilwood Dynalite. This thing weighs 8.8 pounds. The Jack Spania rotor, 11.4. So almost a 3-pound difference in rotor weight. The Jack Spania caliper with pads weighs 4.4 pounds. And the Wilwood Dynalite, it weighs 5.4. Now it has this added bracket on here, so this bracket will probably add a little bit of weight. So it's actually not a huge difference. This thing, you know, for being a Dynalite, it actually feels pretty heavy. They feel comparatively the same weight on those, but obviously this one is a little bit heavier. I am including the brake line on there, but I don't think that's a huge difference for weight. And I also lifted this, so that way it's not using the brake line to take off from the weight. You can tell when I put it on there. Driver's side, I also did a little bit of inspecting and no leaks, I didn't see anything. There's nothing wrong. Everything feels good. Everything looked good. And obviously you can see the brake dust that kind of came off. I believe it was 26 miles. These are all track miles. I don't drive the car anywhere else. I always reset it. 26.3 miles, track miles that day. Of course, the cool down laps and pulling off is a little bit, but still, that's a lot of hard miles put on these, and that's why I like to test them. When talking to the owner of Jack Spania, he asked me what I thought, and I told him the car felt excellent. I think that day was a really busy day, and it was hard getting a lot of clean laps, but when I finally did find one, and also on my time attack, I was able to cut down like 2 seconds off my previous best, so that helped. What I found, what I was doing with, I think the addition of course, the rear disc with the Hawk, the larger front, and the larger master cylinder, I realized I was braking too early now. I could have went a lot deeper. The tires were helping that. So I was braking unnecessarily, and I think I could probably be a little bit faster. In conclusion of the brake kit, I love it. I don't have any issues with it. We've been talking about pads. That's something he's talking with the person who's making his setups and pads, is he wants to try to make a better pad. I feel like this pad is the only thing that is lacking in the kit. I like the fit, I like the look. It performed well. I love the brake lines, the brackets, everything on this DX knuckle made it super easy to install. I had zero issues installing it, had zero issues bleeding it, and had zero issues using it. I cannot complain. My only complaint is I am not a professional by any means. I'm not a professional racer. I've done a ton of lap days though. I've done a handful of track events. And it's cool to try out different setups. You saw the Wilwoods I had on here before. I've tried on the DHPA Wilwoods. I've used those. I've used Hawk pads on EX front brake calipers in the front. So I have a different use and kind of feel for brake setups. But that's my only thing I feel like it could be improved on, is the brake pads. Now, they actually felt really good, and I generally only do about 4 laps. In our time attack, we have 1 warm-up lap, we do 2 hot laps, and then a cool down. That's generally what I do when I do my practice sessions, because once you start pushing it a little too much, your tires get greasy, you start overdoing it. I just feel like it's overdoing itself on the car. And then it's just kind of nice to maintain that rhythm to see how you feel. So there was one session where I was finally able to break free, but I think I did like 5 or 6 laps, and that's when I started feeling the fade. The pads weren't holding up as well. But when I did my time attack, I had 0 issues. I did, of course, the warm-up, which I usually do as fast as I can go without overdoing the tires, 80, 85%, and then, of course, 200% laps, and they performed really well, and I could really tell that I was braking early. So in my conclusion, I love it. I'm hoping these come out soon. I think people are gonna love them at that price point. He's shooting for like $650-ish, give or take. I don't know how much. I think it's a super fair alternative. You have a lot of rotor, you have a lot of pad. If you're gonna use them on more of like a show car, just a daily or weekend like track car, I think these would be fantastic as well. But overall, I think fair for the price and what he's doing and what he's bringing to the market. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope I was able to get some track footage in here. I'm not sure I'm gonna piece this together, but try to make it as informative as possible. And I will try to keep you guys updated on once he has more information on different pads potentially, and hopefully a future release date for this kid. As always, thanks Jack Spanier for reaching out to us, helping us out with testing out some cool new products. And thanks guys for following along. I hope you guys enjoyed the content today, and we will see you soon. Take care.